Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. How you guys doing? Welcome to second React video I make on the channel. I know React content is very lazy, but I'll only make a React video when it's something that's worth to react to. So today's video is gonna be again MTashed because I really like his content and he has very good points. But like I kind of knew him getting into Honkai that he probably gonna quit because it's the same as Genshin in terms of like stamina and grind and all that stuff. So I just want to see. He said this video is him, his review of Honkai after 150 hours. So yeah, let's watch it.
Hey everyone, MTest here, and we've been playing Star Rail for over a month. I've gotten up to a pretty high rank, and I wanted to give you my updated review of the game. I
Okay.
want to talk about how I feel about it. I want to talk about, is it good? Is it worth playing? Yada yada yada. I'm sure many of you already play who watch this channel, but I want to give you my thoughts on where we are with this game going into 1.1. Let's start with characters. I'm very happy that the main character is actually an insane unit, and you can get all the Eidolons for free. The fact that the MC is a staple in many people's like best teams, the fact that they can be used in almost every situation is a very big bonus for free to play.
That is very true, actually. The Fire Trailblazer is one of the top, I would say, four characters in the games. It's crazy. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see like next element, how that's gonna be. Is it gonna be better than the Fire Trailblazer? Is it gonna be worse? I'm just waiting and see because the physical is not that great to be fair, but the fire is awesome. So yeah.
Gamers. Serval is free and pretty darn good. March 7th is free, pretty darn good. Danhang, I haven't built personally, but pretty darn good. It's kind of nice that there's so many free units.
The sixth one is not out yet for the Fire Trailblazer, but yeah, you can get it from the the story update that you will get. Still, no one have the six, I think.
It's in the game, but what about the whole roster? I feel like there are some unique things. There's different buffing units, there's debuffing units, there's damage over time units, there's kuru spin to win units. And overall, I think there's some nice variation. You've got someone like Zila that pops off, gets a ton of speed, goes
It's my turn!
hits, and it does feel different than someone like maybe Clara. Clara is
I should edit this out because I did the Zealing meme. I'm probably gonna add this.
countering, and you would support her differently than you would support Zila. And I like the team building overall, but I wanted to talk about the team building and about the game overall. There's one thing that I'm not that impressed with. Now, there's some pretty difficult content in game. I
Okay.
can already beat floor 5 and 6. I just haven't done it just yet. And as soon as I hit the next world tier, I think I'll actually be able to push all the way through because of some key upgrades that I'm missing out. Certain characters get extra crit rate or just huge bonuses to damage. Their survivability skyrockets. And as soon as I hit that next world tier and can get a couple artifacts or relics, I think I'll actually be able to push through very, very easily. I don't think I can max star it, but I think I'll be able to beat it sooner rather than later. However, the one thing I'm disappointed in is there's a lot of fights, and, you know, an enemy like this, you have to deal with freezing. And that is something you should definitely bring some cleanses for, or else you're going to have some issues. And if you look at this next floor here,
Yeah,
we've got...
there's definitely an issue with the lack of healers. We only have Natasha, and if you don't have E6, March 7th, you don't have, like, technically a second healer. Yeah, I feel like we need a free-to-play healer in the game, so I think that's what you're gonna bring up.
got this enemy here, and he slams down, he hits very hard, shielding can be important, and if you don't kill his little summon minions, you're going to be in danger. But for the most part, all of the mechanics of this game can be solved with I am tankier or can out-heal it, or I do so much damage they don't get a turn. So something like Gepard, he shields everyone on the team, and you can't weakness break him, and it's kind of a mechanic. But for the most part, if you just do damage and you survive, you win. There's no, like, major outplay potential other than just live and do some damage and you win. I don't love that. If someone like Pela, who can strip buffs...
I kind of disagree because there's other teams that can do, like, stuff other than heal or, like, do more damage, like the Wealth or, like, the Nility teams. I feel like this type of play is very interesting. Like it's like a third option that people are just missing. Is just use nudity characters. I mean, we still don't have a lot of them. We still don't have Kafka. We don't have Silver Wolf. So I feel like there will be more variety to how to play the game. The game just came out a month, so we gotta wait.
Could take that away from him, that would be really cool to me. Against this enemy, if you've got Wind Shear and you don't cleanse it off, he can like one-hit a lot of your units. And that's cool. Bring Natasha, bring March 7th. I like that. But I would love to see more. Boss with insane, healing. And if you don't shut down that healing somehow with a mechanic, you can't beat it. A reason to build certain characters.
You will be able to once you get tapped into the nility characters. This is when you'll be able to stop characters from doing their thing. Welt, for example, he's a character that already exists, and he just stops every like not stop, but he delays their attacks and all that stuff. So we really kind of have that. You can freeze them. There's so many other things you can do.
Characters or apply debuffs or do different things. But for right now, you can essentially brute force every fight in the game and just hit really hard and win. So even though there's lots of characters, it doesn't feel like that much of like an RPG team builder where you need to clear certain dungeons with certain units. Now, in games like Raid Shadow Legends or Epic 7 or something like that, there might be a specific dungeon with a specific boss with a specific mechanic, and you want to build optimized fast teams for that. And it's not the same here. You can kind of just go in with any unit and farm all of your stuff, whether it's the Crimson stuff, like these trace materials or the bosses. It doesn't really matter. And
I kind of like that
for
though.
the bosses,
Like I play Epic 7. I did play Epic 7 for like an entire year, and I feel like yeah, it's good to build many teams to do multiple contents, but it's the grind same thing at the end. So like when I play Epic 7 and I reach to the point where why am I even farming gear? What is the end? Like there is end game, don't get me wrong, but what what is the purpose of doing all that? Like it just feel like too much effort, and on top of it, like if you go into like building characters in these games, like I would be so devastated pulling a new character in Epic 7 that I like because I know it's gonna take me so long to build him, to use him. So here, yes, it takes long, but it's not as long as like Epic 7 would do. Like, I mean, there are advantages for Epic 7, there are disadvantages, but I feel like here they took the easy route by making it available for everyone to farm relics. I kind of like that.
obviously you want to have some decent elemental coverage so that you can weakness break them. But for the most part, if you just hit hard, you win. And I don't know, it just isn't that fun. For the most part, it just feels like
I think Zelia is the problem. Having Zelia in the game makes everything easy. I think if you play without Zelia, you might have not struggle, but it might have a challenge in beating some content. So I feel like it's Zelia's problem. She makes everything easy.
you build damage units and someone like Welt who can slow them down. That is cool. But is it necessary? I don't know. Could you just technically build someone that hits harder and use that instead, and they just don't get a turn because they're dead? Yeah. I mean, you could say that about any game like this, obviously, if you get to that point where your gear is crazy. But even though there are unique characters, and I do want to build them for specific reasons, that I thought that it would matter more the units that you got. Right now, it just feels like I am in a waiting game to get traces, get level ups, and eventually I will beat all the content. It isn't about finding that secret sauce. And speaking of the grind, it is a gacha game. I've never loved gacha games, and waiting for energy and waiting for progression is something that does
It is
annoy me.
painful.
And unfortunately, we got to this spot way sooner than I thought. If you look at the game, I genuinely thought there would be a little bit more. I thought maybe we would at least finish this planet, or there'd be like 4 planets or something like that. I understand people compare it to Genshin and they compare it to Liyue and Mondstadt, but this isn't an open world game. I understand there's a lot of story and there's a lot of lore, and there
Hmm.
were some good little side quests and different things. Um, and I recognize that if you took your time and listened to every conversation, you would take a long time to beat all the quests. But I'm a content creator that was focused on progression and leveling up and all those things. And so for me, who is trying to fight the bosses and get to the end game soon, I felt like this game was so fast. And I got to the point where all I was doing was spending resin every day. So
See, yeah, this is the problem because you said that you're a content creator. I understand that you want to cover the game like very fast, but for the majority of people, for like I would say 90%, maybe more than that, of the people I've seen playing the game, they just hit rank 50. I'm rank 57. I feel like I'm just moving fast. Like people are still taking the game at their own pace. Yes, it like the game didn't release with too much story. If you did just go skipped everything, yeah, of course. But overall, I feel like it's a good gacha release. It's not perfect. There's no perfect gacha, but they just decided to release this part of the story, not complete the last planet, for them to. I think they're gonna release in 1.2 the remaining of it with Blade, because there will be. I mean, I can't spoil anything about it, but there is like part to it. That's why they like. Let's say they released the entire of it right now, and you don't have Blade in the game, or you don't have Kafka, or you don't have these characters in the game to summon for. You wouldn't feel attached to it, I, I guess. But it would be nice to have more story. 100%. They could have added a character story for the ones we have already, like Welt, Bronya, Himiko, like all these characters that we got introduced to. Maybe we could have gotten like a story quest for them. I would love to have that at beginning of the game and not wait for it. So yeah.
fast, and it's already gotten pretty boring. For the most part, I will most likely keep logging in because I do enjoy building the teams, and like when I get those big upgrades, it is fun, and I want to beat Memory of Chaos and things like that. But it's harder and harder to stream it each day because after I kill my resin, there's nothing to do. There's just nothing to really do other than run around the map and play on auto battle killing enemies, and that's just not really that fun either. So for me, looking at this game, I want to play more when we can finish up the story and progress all the way through here.
Hmm.
That's when I would want to stream it, long hours again and grind it out. But for the most part, I think that this is a very casual game that you play for a few moments here and there, and that's it. There's not anything else you can
That's
do.
how Mihoyo
Now,
makes their
as for
games, though.
replayability, every 2 weeks, this Memory of Chaos thing will refresh, and if you could push all the way through, it's a great source of currency. You can get some experience books and all these different things. It's fine. It's kind of like the abyss of Genshin Impact, but honestly, the other replayable system I think is a really cool thing. But there's one big problem. Simulated Universe early on was so amazing. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so good. And as I was upgrading the ability tree and doing all these different things, I was like shocked at how good this was. But it has gotten very, very easy the further I've gotten into the game.
Yeah, it got very easy because you moved so fast into the game. I know people till this day who can beat what's her name? Cocolia. Um yes, it is easy once you level up your team and everything, but there are more stages coming. There are more rewards coming from it. So I like the mode. I like to replay it again. I like to try different teams on this mode, because there are 7 different paths that you can just try different gameplays, try to challenge yourself, try to see like I don't know, I like it. I even like it more than the memory hole. I feel like it's more fun. Um could be repetitive, of course, if you're using the same team, but if you try different things, I think it's really fun. Yeah.
To the point where it's just like face roll. And even when we hit the new world tier and they unlocked like the new difficulties, it was still so easy. Like I didn't even have to think about it. I just one phased it. And that's it's gonna happen. The stronger you get, it's gonna happen. And there are more difficulties down the road. But for the most part, this game mode is getting easier as time goes on because of this ability tree. our relics, our characters, they scale very heavy with all the bonuses that you can get from this thing. You can get all these different blessings and curio, and you can get some pretty broken builds going where you're doing hundreds of thousands of damage. And the kind of power abilities like the hunt arrows that come down and the destruction AoE, they're like brokenly good. Like it trivializes the content. They're so good, and that's okay. It's kind of like a roguelike, but it's a roguelike that you always win. That's what it feels like. It feels like a roguelike where you just play it and you win. And that's okay. I know that this game's kind of casual, but
I feel like you always win if you pick the abundance. I don't think you physically lose if you pick the abundance passive or like route.
I thought maybe it would be a little bit more exciting, a little bit tougher, some bigger choices and things like that. It's really good for getting resources each week, and you get a free wish. Well, you get 2 free wishes technically because you get all the currency for another one here. You can start working towards some free 5-star items. You get some free relics, free energy there. It's pretty cool. I like it, but the replayable systems are, again, very finite for like maybe one day each week, and one of them is every 2 weeks, and then there's nothing to do. And so for me, again, someone who wants to play the game, I genuinely want to grind and level up and do these things. There isn't anything really to do beyond one day. A few hours.
I understand his point of view.
And so...
And it's the same for me too.
It's hard to stream this game. It's hard to play it long term. But it is a fun game the first few times through. It's pretty sweet. I just can't really do it anymore. Now, I don't have any missions left. I beat all the side missions and all the main missions. But there were some really good stories. Natasha, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a mission with her brother. I thought it was a really cool little story. There's a cute one with Hook and her dad. I think that the side stories were okay, but again, I did Skippy McGee. I got the
definitely better than Genshin.
What was going on, but I was a bit of a Skippy McGee. But the main story quests I thought were awesome. There were some cool fights, especially Cocolia. The music was pretty sweet. I thought the story was like entertaining enough. I could follow along with what was going on. And they've left us on a bit of a cliffhanger, a bit of an info dump. The second part of the story into, the third planet, it wasn't as strong necessarily or as exciting, but it was a lot of information, and I'm excited to see the payoff down the road.
I actually agree. I feel like it's the second planet, not the third. But the second planet, I feel like the story kind of falls off from the Cocolia. After the Cocolia fight, I feel like the story kind of fell off, or like I kind of lost interest. But I still like the interactions and everything. But yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree.
Story stuff was good. It's not even my favorite thing in games. I'm very gameplay focused, and I really enjoyed it. As for the gacha side of things, you can get yourself a free 5-star unit to get started, which is pretty cool. And they didn't do that in Genshin Impact. They did it here, and I think it's awesome.
They did nothing in Genshin
Some of
Impact.
The units are amazing.
So you get this banner, right? That you can guarantee a 5-star, and there is the 300 pity that you can also pick, not get a random. You can pick what you want. Genshin never done that. I don't think Genshin will ever do that.
This character has been rising in fame, super good. Gepard, really good as well. Bronya, god tier. Welt, very good. Clara, awesome. Bailu, amazing.
Himiko, trash.
Himiko is the only one that gets roasted. Honestly, I think that at the next world tier, when people all get to the next world tier and she gets her free 15% crit rate, you can't even really complain about Himiko as
Man.
All the normal characters bring a piece to the puzzle. They are pretty good overall. And so
I kind of actually feel like, yeah, every character has a purpose. What is Himiko doing?
That's nice, because if you're wishing on the standard banner, I'm at 148 pulls right now. If you just started today, you would miss out on maybe like 10 pulls or so, or even a little bit more than that, because you weren't here for the first monthly refresh and yada, 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 yada. But still, you can usually get a couple different 5-star characters or weapons from this banner, just playing free to play. And then you get quite a few wishes on this banner. Like I've done like
Himiko, yeah, for farming, but she needs like a specific team.
And
she needs
you get some
a lot of things to work.
You can round out your team
with her.
And even if you don't spend money, you can get a pretty good team. And you can beat all the content in the game. It just takes time. It takes a lot of time because you have to grind up the.
And that's what I like about this game, about even Genshin, that you don't need to spend anything to enjoy the game completely. From the beginning till end game, if Genshin doesn't have end game, but I'm talking here about Honkai. You can completely finish the game just by playing, just leveling up, and just going. It will take time, yes, but you'll beat it. Other gacha games gate content with summonable character, or like if you like, bro, there are even gacha games that makes banner. If you don't have like a premium currency that you paid for, you can't summon for these banners. I understand the gacha system is not the great in Genshin or like Honkai, but you don't really need to summon to complain about the gacha system, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah.
The weapons, you got to grind up the character levels, yada yada yada. But I think that it's reasonable if you want to experience this game, you can get enough characters to make it a good experience, which is good. Don't spend money though. Don't spend money because there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do, boys. I'm telling you. You're going to spend hundreds of dollars on this game to get a little bit stronger, and then you're going to go, oh, what did I do? Why did I do this?
I actually feel like he's very like in the right in this, because like example is Zelia. My Zelia is E3 and she's destroying everything. I feel like using like summoning for a very strong character, like duping them and like getting the perfect dupe and like light cones and everything, it makes the game too much easy. So I don't know. I don't feel like, I mean, it's up to everyone who can, like, you can do whatever you want with your account. If you want the content to be easy, so you can just pass by it without even focusing on playing or whatever, it's up to you. But if you want to experience the entire game fully, I would say just try to, maybe you can, of course will, but try not to use all. Maybe let's say you have the power to E6 a character. Get it to E6, but keep the character at E0, just use it for a bit, then fill the dupes in. I mean, just enjoy the game, because once you dupe out the character, everything's gonna be easy. And you're just gonna see, like, why am I playing? There's nothing even to play. Yeah.
You're going to be on autoplay, smashing every single fight
Exactly.
with your eyes closed, and you're going to regret it. I understand if you want to do like a monthly top-up to get a little bit more wishes or something like that, but don't be dropping hundreds of dollars. I promise you, you will regret it. Another thing I really appreciate is, obviously the characters get stronger with Eidolons, but most of the characters function almost 100% without any of them. And I like that. I feel like it's a pretty fair game overall with
Zhongli, Genshin, E1,
like balance, and there's definitely some outliers here and there, but I'm really happy with how you can just kind of mash a team together, even with free-to-play units, and win. The fact that they give you quite a few different options in the game.
You're gonna keep her E0?
And you know, the MC, Asta, like, there's some really good units that can carry your team.
Asta
I'm happy with
pasta.
them. So, I don't really have a lot of negative stuff to say.
Great!
Some of the stuff
So he's not gonna quit the game. Hopefully.
I think is overly negative. It's just my opinion of it. But I'm not going to roast this game. I'm not going to call Honkai Star Rail bad. I wish I could play more. I wish I had more energy
That's true.
each day so I could level up more characters and show off what they could do sooner. I get frustrated when I'm not able to play it because it is so fun. If you want to treat this game casually, you're going to have a great time. But between getting their traces, leveling up the characters, ascending them,
It is
all
gonna
their
take a lot
light
of
cones,
time.
yada, 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 it is very, very long-term grind where you get to play 5 minutes a day if you want to upgrade your teams.
It's 24
And-
minutes of
and
video,
sometimes
holy.
it's satisfying
Think,
to get a big upgrade, but some of the time it feels like you're just making this.
I think I understand now his perspective. He's right in the issues where stamina is a problem, but this is a MiHoYo game, so we already know that before we get into the game. Game is fun, game is enjoyable, story is cool, characters are cool. Gacha system is not really impacting the game, which is a W. So yes, having to make a content or stream the game is annoying because there is nothing to do once you just finish everything like in an hour. But again, it's not meant to be only for like for that. You know what I mean? Like the game is not created for content creators. It's created for everyone to enjoy the game. That's my take on it. I feel like playing the game for like an hour, maybe less, maybe 20 minutes a day, maybe less, maybe 5 minutes. Just log in, just do whatever, and then log off. It's fine. People have things to do. No one have. Not everyone is a streamer or a content creator that need to just swipe the game very fast to cover the most content on the game. Actually, I would say that's 0.01% of the player base maybe who make content on the game. So you're really gonna target that demographics and then ignore everyone else. Yeah. I hope we have more content, of course. I hope a miracle happens and they change the stamina system. But overall, I'm enjoying Honkai. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. I'm gonna leave a link to Imtashed video in the link below, and the giveaway as well if you just like the content, like having daily Honkai content. Open the video, leave a like and subscribe and comment. And yeah, so whenever I hit 500 subs, you can win a Honkai pass. That's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and bye.